Okay. We have some things to talk about.
We do. But we do have to get one thing done off the top. And man, people forget that Secret Invasion exists.
Yeah.
Like, don't like this show, whatever. People like to use hyperbole, as I love to say it that way because of Brian Regan, or hyperbole for those who don't get the joke. As soon as they don't like something or they need to bash something, it's the worst thing to ever exist. Did y'all forget the plot hole ridden mess that was Secret Invasion?
I try to forget that.
This is the worst Marvel show, everyone is saying. This has a clear plot lines, developed characters, actual things going on, and not trying to fit 78 different characters into this that don't need to work together and can't. Like, they're actively, if it keeps going in the direction of what they're doing, even with my one complaint, it looks like they're actively doing what I think they were going to. So this is not the worst Marvel show, guys. I don't know what to tell you. But if you're just off the rip saying this is bad, I'm not normally one of those people that jump to conclusions and say people hate things for things. But there's a little bit of some possible sexism or racism if you're going out of your way to actually try and say this is the worst Marvel thing you've ever seen.
Agreed.
Like, the joke is being thrown around that Ant-Man 3 made Michael Douglas and Evangeline Lilly quit acting. I don't think it was that bad, but like, what are we doing? Anyway. So, a lot of stuff happened in this episode that I was like, that's gonna happen. Like, cops came and got Stain. Because, when you just hold this thing onto your wrist with your hand, Riri, it's gonna fall off. What were you doing?
So sloppy.
I think of the adhesive properties of, like, painter's tape. What are we even doing? Oh, goodness gracious. But, yeah, so... you got to have some pretty basic stuff. Zeke got blamed for pretty much all of the
heirloom heist.
For the heirloom heist. You got to see that is it Mark? No, I'm blanking. Oh, I always forget his name.
Parker?
Nope, other guy.
Oh, John?
John. Like, they had to, like, I get what they were trying to show, but I, like, got that part already with the flashback.
Oh.
That was when we were like, no, okay, I get it. He saved his life once. I kind of got that. He's helping him cover up giant magic scars on his back with tattoos. I think they're pretty close. So, yeah, there's that. And then the new tech guy that they're saying. So that's out of there. We're finding out, and the more I'm thinking about this, is that, like, people and among us in this podcast were like, this show's gonna introduce magic like Doctor Doom. And we're really forgetting that there's been like 3 movies and 2 TV shows specifically around the fact that there's been magic in Marvel since the start.
But here's my favorite part. As as much as we, the audience, are familiar with Kamartage, people in other areas of the US are like, what the hell is that?
Mm-hmm. But like, there's failed wizard kids that just know teleportation spells into other exalted planes. Just Debbie down the street at the stone store knows how to teleport you to another plane. And they know how to read the leads and do all this and that, and I'm just okay. They kind of made it seem like if you weren't a sorcerer, you didn't know shit, and now you can kind of just out. But then they had the witches and other things, and now they're kind of just showing that magic is a very regular thing in the MCU, like a very regular thing. We just don't see it.
And I honestly appreciate that with where the MCU is now compared to where it was even back in 2016.
Yeah, yeah, it's cool to see because it was the whole what is that famous line? Thor says it to Jane when they're talking about science and magic.
Oh, magic is like science that like humans can't comprehend.
It's so indistinguishable that certain minds can't comprehend the difference. It's something like that about, depending on how you look at it, there's not really a difference. But yeah, that was like the only time where like it was Thor was the one that had magic involved, and that was it. I should say the Thor crew, everyone from the Thor movies, I should say. And other than that, it was science. That brings up one of the dumbest arguments I ever heard someone. It was like, a good friend of mine was like, yeah, the entire point of Spider-Man No Way Home was what works better, science or magic? I'm like, you didn't watch that movie. They literally mentioned science being better than magic once. And in the rest of the movie, Peter Parker openly says he can't fix his problems without magic. Yeah. That's the entire point and crux and plot mover of the movie, and why we get every other character in it. Because of magic. So we get her trying to destroy the hood, which, shocker, doesn't work. But what I'm wondering is, I'm guessing every time he turns invisible, that piece of cloak turns invisible.
That's what I'm thinking, because otherwise, why would it just be turning invisible on a whim?
Yeah, which I'm assuming that's going to be a plot detail later. Like, she's going to know if he's invisible or not, because the thing is, whatever, like, she's going to have some way in her new finished suit to tell that. And, yeah, so now we know that, you know, without proof, even though they're correct, because of he saw a vision that they're all trying to go kill Riri. There's a bounty on her head. They busted Zeke out of jail, along with all of his stuff. But before that, we got to have Natalie and Riri were gonna have I thought we're gonna have the moment.
Oh, that moment.
The "you're not real" moment, because they got really close in a couple of times saying it. Well, she actually did say it, that you're not really that. She just didn't go as ham as I thought she was going to. And then they had a really serious moment that I didn't think they were going to have, because I never even thought about the possibility of him seeing her. Of, like, Natalie being legitimately terrified that Riri was going to delete her.
Yeah. Hold on, before that, we have to talk about Natalie's brother, Xavier.
Oh, yeah, there's a borderline maybe what if crush thing. What is their age difference?
You know, That's a great question.
Because that is initially why I never thought of that. I'm going to be really honest with you. Now, they're
Honestly,
both adults.
I just think of them as like either just family friends or I don't know, something.
I don't know, but Natalie is cheering for it, so I don't know what that means because Natalie is a construction of Riri's head, so I don't know what that means for what Riri's cheering for. So there's that. And then yeah, so we get all of that together. She goes and gets her to try and calm down Riri, which obviously doesn't work. Backfires 100%. And you have that, like I said, really scary moment where Riri looks at her and she's like, he doesn't like you. And she's like, are you serious? I'm gone. And even she leaves and leaves those two there as they're in the secret lair that he left the key under the mat for. That is hilarious. But yeah, there's that. And, so at the end of this, Slug is prepping Zeke for surgery. And they're like, they came up with tech to like make his brain respond to biometrics and other things like that. Or, biometrics correspond with biomechanics.
Yeah.
I can't remember exactly, but yeah, basically, I'm going to assume metal mechanical attachments, kind of like, but not exactly like Doctor Octopus has. But they changed the admin on it to no longer be Xavier or Ezekiel to being Parker. So Parker's going to be controlling him, and it looks like it's some very invasive surgery.
Do you have an image of Zeke Stain from the comics?
I did the last time. He looked like a weird owl. Oh man, now I can't think of it. It's not Power Man. What was the one that they had the group up movie with Godzilla? Ultraman.
Yeah.
It looked like an Ultraman god. No, never mind. I was rethinking badly there. It looks like a metallic version of a Court of Owls costume.
There we go.
Hold on. Like, am I wrong?
Nope.
So, and then there's that where he looks a little bit different. But, like, he's got those, but they were screwing clean into the side of his head. So, I mean, yeah, this is kind of what he ends up looking like. And he's got, yeah, biomechanics in his arms and stuff, so that would be something.
Yeah, it's kind of fun how they're not just like sanding the edges off this character. No, he's going full super villain with this. Even has the motivation too.
Yeah, and it's I'm going to assume he gets finished off in the show because they're not getting another season.
Yeah, it seems like that, but also again, whether or not this could tie back to Armor Wars is almost a moot point because that movie is probably just not happening anymore.
I would very much assume that stuff from that is going to get turned into something else. I don't know. It might get chopped and screwed into something else. Like, I saw some behind-the-scenes footage of, like, Isaiah Bradley in his costume that was supposed to be in Captain America: A Brave New World. So there was a very different version of that movie. So I don't know what they're all going to go through to make sure that Iron Wars, that went from a Disney Plus show to now a movie, I don't know. So we'll see with that. Yeah. Do you have anything else?
I think we covered everything. Um, overall, my thoughts so far, now that we're 2/3 of the way in, I'm really liking the show so far.
Oh, so am I, absolutely. I like I said, the show has found its groove of what it wanted this thing to be. So it feels nice. It's just that, like I said, it's found its groove, and now we have 2 episodes left.
Yeah, this feels very much like a pre creative overhaul show. I mean, that's literally what it is because it's been on the shelf for like 3 years.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a it's yeah. But anyway, Mike, where can everybody find you?
You guys can find me on various social media sites at Captain K42. You can check out my quick thoughts on letterbox.com/CoachK42. And you can follow Renegade Pop Culture on Facebook and Blue Sky at Renegade Pop Culture. You can also find us here on YouTube, on Podchaser. Consider supporting our Patreon at patreon.com/Renegade Pop Culture. Listen to all of our podcasts on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen. And last but not least, everything can be found at renegadepopculture.com. Need an escape? So do we.
Absolutely. You can find me everywhere at Organoid Zero, mainly on Twitch and YouTube. If any of you are interested in Ghost of Tsushima, I am going to be doing a giveaway for a digital deluxe edition of the game at midnight on October 2nd when the game releases. All you need to do is be watching and subscribed at the time. Yes, Manny, I'm looking at you. You cannot win if you are not watching. I will redo the drawing if your name is picked and you are not watching. So yeah, $5 to win something that's worth 80. I think that's a pretty good deal. If you are into conventions and cosplays and such, you can go check out my Instagram at Organoid Zero for all those things over there. The next convention I believe I'll be going to is Anime 414, I think. But yeah, so until next time, we will see you all later.
Peace.
Bye.